Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the MILF podcast. I'm your host, Killer Kid 451, also known as Carl Jacobs. Here with me today is Not a Weeb 381, also known as Dan.
Hi, I guess. I don't know.
Alright,
381 not a
perfect.
weep.
I can't think of a joke right now. I'm too tired.
Just say
Okay.
381 not a weep. Funny reference, get it?
Okay.
Yeah, shut up before you get. Oh my God, Zapper! You fucking everything.
This is
I
already
swear to
went up
fucking
to
God.
today's
Alright,
date.
keep going.
Today's date is 5/20/2020. Next
Wait, when
in
did
the
we go to
line,
2020?
huh?
Huh?
I thought we were in 2019. Wait, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. Last
Where
episode
did we?
was
What the fuck?
2019. How are we in
What
2020?
the fuck happened?
And wait, why am I here? What? How'd I get here?
Zapper's back?
Zapper
Holy
is here
shit!
too. His name is on Discord. Oh.
Why'd you have
And
to leak my Discord tag, Carl?
Bro, you can't fucking leak his Discord. Okay, shut up now. Introduce
Yeah,
the other people. Come on.
we have the new
our
host.
new co-host that we'll get to in a minute is Chronos.
Hello.
He is a
Hello.
hello. And today's guest, we do have a guest today. His name is TJ the Man, also known as TJ.
Greetings.
So TJ, why don't you explain to the viewers what you do?
I sit in my room and
Jack off.
yeah,
And this is why we have you here today. You're a professional.
pretty much. Yeah.
He's a professional. All right.
I've heard
I
that
know
you
how
guys
to
made a
look at
band or
computers.
something.
Oh no.
Hey TJ, do you want to plug our SoundCloud?
No, I don't think I'm gonna do that.
You guys don't want to plug it?
Nah, I'm not gonna plug the SoundCloud.
Okay.
I think
Come
it's
on,
pretty
man.
good, man.
All right.
All
Carl,
right,
why don't
guys, we're
you
getting
start
off topic
introducing
here.
Chronos? Yeah, we're
Shut
getting
up.
off topic.
Zapper, if you want to make a collaborative SoundCloud, I'll plug that.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
not gonna plug personal.
All right, guys, stop getting off topic. All right.
We're not
guys,
even on a
okay.
topic. Shut the fuck up.
All right, go
Jesus
ahead.
Christ. Chronos, would you like to introduce yourself? Anything you'd like to say as a new member of the MILF podcast?
And Chronos isn't
Uh,
a guest, by the way. He's a new co-host.
Yeah. Hello. I'm Chronos. I like MILFs. I don't actually. Not really my kind of thing.
Why are you here then?
I do stuff. I don't know. I bully Zapper a lot.
He calls me a walking thyroid, whatever that
I did
means.
call him a walking thyroid.
I don't get
Um,
it.
It's from a song. And you know, my job's just to be British.
That is the whole reason why we hired you.
Yeah. You didn't even
literally
hire
he's
me.
saying-
You just kidnapped me.
Well, we kidnapped you after you were kidnapped. We were saving you from a kidnapping by kidnapping you.
Yeah, that's a long story, man.
Should we explain?
Should we
I just wanna-
explain
I
the
just-
story?
I just want to return to England, man.
I get it. So does
Um,
America.
so does America. Let's
Okay.
talk about the previous podcast. How about that?
Oh,
You guys-
not
Right.
entirely
About
my fault.
Nice job,
Yeah.
Dan.
Funny times. Funny times.
So what happened
Yeah,
in
so
the previous
basically,
happened?
let me tell you the reason why that episode went out so late. A year late actually. I was doing very important work, like sitting on my ass and like probably eating hot chip, and then
Turning
and
on
then
crops
He
in.
also
immediately-
lied
yeah.
a fair bit. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically what happened. Let's make sure that doesn't happen again. And yeah, let's do the MILF podcast now, right, everyone? Right? Everybody's very happy, very encouraged to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dan is trying
He'd
to
be
be
damn
damage
straight.
control.
I was hoping you were gonna be sighing or like fucking crying, but all right.
Dan, I'm pumped. I'm pumped.
You're
I'm-
pumped, TJ. Finally, someone's pumped about the
TJ's
fucking
pumped,
podcast.
even though he's not a permanent member.
I'm-
TJ's
I'm
still
pumped.
pumped.
Exactly, he's the guest.
I'm out here. I'm like thinking like, man, this MILF podcast, this is gonna be a fun time. So let's get to it.
TJ,
You came into this
I
with the
would-
wrong attitude.
I would describe TJ
Yeah, I should probably
as-
leave before I'm disappointed.
Yeah,
I would
that's
describe
probably a
TJ as
good-
Big Pump.
He,
You know,
Yeah.
none of that little
I'm-
pump around here. TJ's Big Pump.
Stop,
I got,
please.
yeah, I got a big pump.
that means he has a big penis.
Oh yeah, he does.
Oh shit. TJ, is that
Get
your
it?
talent?
Funny penis.
Dude,
Yes,
penis
Alan
is
is
really
having a
funny.
big penis.
Why do you think he sits in his room and masturbates all day?
That's
he's-
why we have him on here. All
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
This is a great start to the fucking podcast.
It really
Yeah,
is.
it's a great
Yeah.
start.
How about we
Um,
actually
alright.
talk about something?
All right,
Well,
okay.
First,
So,
we need
let's
to
talk
discuss
about
the last. Dan,
I already explained
there's
it.
something.
Come on.
There's something important we forgot to mention. The other
Big
elephant
penis?
in the room. Kiko isn't here,
Oh, that elephant.
so
Yeah,
let me
Forgot about
describe it. You know how he broke out of prison to be in one episode? Yeah, well, they kind of caught him with several small children in his basement, and now he's in prison for life.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I heard
Well,
about that.
Chronos was one of the children.
That's a shame.
Chronos
Yeah,
was one of the
yeah,
children.
I mean, yeah, I'd know the most about the situation considering I was there.
Hmm.
I was just in a basement. Honestly, I don't really know what happened. I was kind of walking home from school, and then everything turned
college.
black.
Kiko is actually the one who kidnapped Chronos to bring him to the MILF podcast.
Yeah, I just heard like I was in a basement with a bunch of other kids, and I heard maniacal laughing from upstairs, and like
Like that. Like that.
yeah, and
It
there's, like,
was different.
it was really weird. There was like baby screams and a bunch of mechanical noises,
What?
and then
Hang on,
like
this is the first time I'm hearing.
yeah, and then like he kept on coming down, and he wouldn't really do anything to her, but he'd like grab a whip and hit near us, but not exactly on us. I think he was planning on selling us, so he didn't want to like damage his goods, you know. But yeah,
mighty fun to get killed.
basically, I think one of his
Stop.
neighbors like realized what was going on, and they called a SWAT team, and then I ended up here somehow because
And he ended up in prison.
yeah, I mean, I was just trying to like get back to England. I was like, "Hey, SWAT team, can you bring me back to England?" But then they all took off their helmets, and it was the MILF podcast lads. And I was like, "Holy shit, I'm a big
Yo,
fan."
MILF podcast plot twist.
And then they looked at me and said, "You are joining the MILF podcast now," and I said, I'd rather go back to England, but then they were like, no, and so
They're
I'm here.
underpaying him. They're
Wait,
they're
giving
not
him
paying him?
5 cents an
We're
hour.
paying him? I don't remember this.
At least
Yeah,
I get paid like 2 cents an hour,
No, you don't.
or like
Your
2
pay
cents
was
a year, I
reduced
guess.
as negative 10 cents a year
You
Oh,
pay
fuck,
me.
You're right.
because you delayed a podcast episode by a
For
year.
a year.
All right,
Alright,
let's start
should-
getting
should we
into actual
actually-
topics today. Yeah.
All right,
Let's-
let's talk about the other elephant in the room. Why we're here again.
We're
So
bored.
yeah, we're bored, stuck at home. That's pretty fun. You know, there's a little
Wait, start the
a
timer.
little
Hang on.
thingy going around. I'll start the timer. Yeah, we have to limit it to
starting
5
it.
minutes because we don't want to talk about this bullshit anymore. We're done. It's so freaking annoying. You
Mhm.
hear about it all on the news.
Yeah.
People dying.
Oh my god,
That's it.
calm down.
Dying virus. We need more money.
Yeah, it's annoying.
We're not gonna spend
So,
5
like,
minutes on this, are we?
We're not 5 minutes. We're probably 8 minutes, 9 minutes.
No.
The viewer will
less.
decide. All right. So yeah, basically, virus thingy's happening right now. We're kind of all stuck in quarantine. Apparently my state's supposed to open up on Friday, which is kind of shit. But all right, do what you want. You get infected. I'm staying home. I'm gonna play some more fucking Smash or some shit.
Oh wait, Dan. You know what else you're gonna
What?
be playing? Xenoblade Chronicles
Xenoblade
Definitive
Chronicles.
Edition coming out for the Nintendo Switch on May 29th.
Whoa. I wonder how I got that. It just magically
Imagine.
$70 popped into my Nintendo Switch account. And
$70 on the day that just happened to be your birthday,
oh
with a
yeah, which
letter
was
just
like
left
probably
saying,
7 days ago.
buy
or a
Xenoblade
week.
Chronicles Definitive Edition for the Nintendo Switch releasing May 29th.
It's
Yeah,
almost
you're
like a
right. It's
birthday
not like you had a
present.
gun to my head or anything to buy it.
I left my house for the first time in a month today.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah, to go outside and to the top of my driveway.
I
Nice.
haven't left my house outside of my backyard in probably close to no, I haven't left since quarantine started.
Damn, bro.
And that was like early
March.
April.
Early March, yeah. March.
I've
Early
been out a
March.
few times.
I think mine started like around like late March.
Yeah, we
Mine
started like
was-
March
mine was
20th or
There are
mid-March, yeah.
I went into like the center of the city I live in, and there were a surprising amount of people out. Like I thought that there'd be like, you know, one or two people dotted about, but it just looked like a normal day. Like, you know, people just obviously people are like kind of distancing themselves from each other, but it looked
Yeah.
pretty much like an average day in the city.
Which is something
I
that's
kinda
very
think at this
strange
point-
because
At this
You can
point,
go.
I feel like it's kind of turning into like, like a trend. How like everyone's going crazy when it first starts, but now it's been a couple months. Everyone's in quarantine, and everyone's kind of getting bored of it and just kind of ignoring it at this point.
Yeah.
It's really sucky how people are just going out anyway. Even if, like, literally it's not clearing up at all, people are still going out.
Yeah,
we're
but you're
probably gonna
hearing
be-
news about everyone, like all governments saying like, "Oh, we're gonna start opening stuff up," so they think,
Yeah,
"Oh, so it must not be as bad as we think." But no, it's as bad as we think.
it's
They're
still
opening
out
it
there.
up
It's not
because
like
the
it's
economy's
gone.
spiking down.
Oh yeah, a lot of big companies have been shutting down. Freaking
Mhm.
JCPenney just filed for bankruptcy like a week ago,
Jeez.
like 2 weeks
Really?
ago. Yeah, they filed for bankruptcy. It was bad.
And
I
So
didn't
our
hear that.
economy's going down the shitter. So yeah, I get why they're opening it up, but at the same time, the people that are like, "Oh yeah, it's over. Let's all go to the beach." It's fucking retarded.
Mhm.
Mhm.
All right, is that our segment for the virus? Are we all done?
That was 3 minutes. Well, Carl, you can say what you've wanted to say for the past hour now.
In the past hour. No, I was just gonna say we have a minute 30 seconds left.
Oh,
Before-
okay.
Yeah,
So
if we want to keep discussing it.
Well, you know, I think this is just adequate enough proof that we need to switch to communism.
Yeah,
yeah,
dude,
you're right.
honestly. Like, listen, if all the wealth is evenly distributed, it'll last us a lot longer, so we can stay in quarantine. You know?
I mean,
Exactly,
you
because
know,
we'll be all equally poor. I love being
Uh-huh.
poor.
If we're all equally poor, we'll all have to pay the same amount, and everyone will be respectful of each other.
Yeah, exactly. We all go in the bread lines. Oh wait, never mind. I'm not going in the
Oh.
bread lines because I'm not bread. Yeah.
Dan, join
Okay,
the
I
bread.
won't insert. I won't insert inside jokes in there anymore.
All right, yeah,
Right.
fucking.
So that's enough
loser.
about the virus, I guess.
Yeah,
Let's
because
move
we
on to
only have like 40 seconds.
topic.
Next topic.
Next
What
topic.
should it be?
next.
So I actually got one. So how are your online classes going?
They're
Awful.
going.
I'm
It's
failing like all of my classes.
Wait, what?
somehow.
Say that again.
I'm failing like all of my classes. I think I'm passing 2 classes right now.
Jeez.
What are the two classes?
History and computer or something.
Is
History?
history class hard?
Well, no, because everything in history is like just like read a document and then answer questions.
So the directions are hard.
Not really. I mean, I
Mhm.
haven't one in the class right now, so the directions aren't hard at all.
Okay. All right.
Read
Sorry,
the
I was just
document
doing a
and
joke.
answer question.
But yeah. Sucks to be you guys because I'm graduating apparently. I don't know, probably Friday.
Online
state opens up.
graduation.
I'm not doing an online graduation. If
Well,
it
it's like-
ever happened, I wouldn't attend. I'm fucking done. I don't want to do that shit. They're doing one, but they're doing it on Friday, but it's individual. So I won't be graduating with the class. I'll be graduating with my family, which is
Mhm.
kind of
Let's.
But I
Yeah.
guess it's better than not having it at all.
So do you guys actually have the Zoom classes?
I don't use Zoom.
We-
My school uses Google Meets usually.
Some teachers use Zoom.
I've had a couple of teachers
Good luck
use
with them.
Zoom.
Because well, like my teachers just email me work.
Yeah, I was hoping that it would be like that at the beginning, but I only have like
I
one
don't
teacher
do
that
the
does that.
work, but they email it to me.
I was
Yeah.
kind of hoping I would just get like, a list of stuff I have to do for each class from someone instead of like actually having to switch between different calls and do the work within a certain amount of time for a certain class. It would make it a lot
Honestly, I
easier.
think it is really stupid that we have just a certain amount of time to do it.
Yeah,
Like,
I think the fact there's dudes. I think like we should be allowed to do it at our own pace, especially because like they're worrying more about whether the fact that we have school or not than whether the fact that we survived this pandemic. I mean, they're taking precautions, but you know what I mean. Like
yeah.
they're kind of worrying a little more about school than you know whether or not we're safe and being like we're not stressed out and having to deal with this stuff.
Hmm.
I think
Oh God,
for me
this whole entire thing
personally,
screwed everybody over.
I'd rather just like, because I feel like the lockdown's gonna last until at least the beginning of the next school year.
Hmm.
So I'd rather that they just redid the year. Like I know
Uh,
that's probably a massive pain or whatever, but personally, I'd just rather like
it also
because
loses a
it's
lot
probably
of
going to
money.
last like quite far into the next school year as well. So
Maybe.
like I don't know, man.
I've heard from colleges that some of them are doing what is it? They have set dates because they can't like what is it? They can't delay it. So, but
Mm,
what is it? If they will delay it if like it passes the date, and if not, they'll do online classes, which will be
right.
suck. Like it
Yeah,
would
because my
really suck.
exams have been cancelled for my
Oh yeah,
ASs.
exams
Um,
were completely
Imagine
done.
exams being canceled. Can't
but yeah,
relate.
I just haven't been able to do any of the work. Like I'm just struggling with it, man.
I
Like
kind of do feel like they're gonna end up having to cancel school at the beginning of the next year. I don't mean to bring up the virus again, but
We still have 40 seconds
they
for
said
that, so it's okay.
like, oh well, um, it's probably gonna die out during summer, and because people, I mean, as you can see right now, people are getting tired of this quarantine, and they're just kind of going out because people have said, oh, it's kind of dying out. Like it's been said, it doesn't survive in hot temperatures, but once the temperatures start dropping again, it's gonna come back. I mean, this
mhm.
isn't just like a one-time deal and okay, it's gone. Like
Yeah,
it'll still exist after this.
I think that opening like schools and colleges and universities is like one of the dumbest things to do because in the city I live in, the the number of people who go to the university here is the same amount of like is more than the amount of people who live in the town I used to live in. It's like 30,000 plus people, all in this
Schools
one
are always
university.
too crowded.
So it's just like, and my college, like there is a lot of people. You're constantly bumping into people. It's unavoidable. And we've got it's like the building's 9 floors, and we've got 2 lifts for all the students. So the lifts are like always crowded. They're like you're always shoving like 7 people in those lifts at a time. It's always like close confined space, and that's like and then all the stairs are completely filled with people. It's completely like cramped together. So there's just like maybe primary schools because they have less people there, but for
Yeah,
like
but the issue with that would be like they're younger, so they're more at risk.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So
But
it's
All
like
like
right.
no matter what, you're losing.
I think here they're planning to reopen like a few primary schools.
Oh,
I think like as much as I want to go back to physically go back to school, like have the school open, I think you know, I mean, it's definitely for the better that we don't open the schools. And hey,
yeah.
at least now I can, look up answers on quizzes, I probably shouldn't, but like, hey, if I have the option, I mean, if it's what it takes to
Hang on,
pass
we
the
said we
Sure,
school.
I
weren't going to
suppose
go
so.
over the time limit. Let's move on.
Yeah, we
let's
gotta move
on
on.
to
Enough
let's move
about.
on to the next topic, guys. All right. So let's talk about. Hey, since we're all in quarantine and we have nothing else to do, so let's watch some
There-
anime, right?
There
The
must
new
be some
season's
good anime,
coming out.
right?
Yeah,
Right?
like,
There must
oh,
be,
look at all
there must
the,
be some
look at all
good
the
stuff,
anime that are
right?
coming out. We
Yeah,
have
there
Love
has
is
to be.
War, and we
Of
have
course, but yeah. We
and
got Quintessential Quintuplets season 2.
oh yeah, no,
ReZero
no, that got
season 2.
canceled. That got canceled too.
Nope, canceled. Can't what? Really?
Yeah,
What
they're
about
all
the Promised
gone.
Neverland? That's coming out in fall, right?
Yeah, canceled.
What? At least I can still continue watching Black Clover. It's pretty entertaining.
Oh no.
All
Nope,
of them are canceled for this season.
all of them
Sorry,
are
dude.
canceled and delayed. Black Clover is the one that's
Yay!
pissing me off the most because it's for an indefinite amount of time. Like we don't know, not indefinite, but like we don't know how long.
know
They
the
just
one
say like
thing
we're not doing it.
you know the one thing everyone needs during this quarantine? Not
Entertainment.
entertainment.
Yeah.
Well, I
But at
mean,
the
to be
same
fair,
time,
they
you know,
they
the
can't really go
animation
into the
studio has to be like
workplace.
safe.
Yeah, they can't go into the workplace, so I understand why they can't do it,
I
but
suppose,
still,
I suppose they could move they could move the gear to their houses.
that would be pretty expensive and
Yeah,
difficult,
that
though.
would, yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like, I mean, the profit from, especially in quarantine, profit from releasing that would be much more than what would
Yeah,
be the
probably.
expenses.
But
But yeah,
Japan is really,
hang on.
really scared
Speaking
about
of
it, though.
quintessential
So
quintuplets, Dan has
Oh
the
no!
worst best girl ever.
Shut up,
Me and Zapper,
Chronos! You
me and
shut up.
Zapper
dude,
both agree.
honestly,
Miku
Oh
Hatsune
my
is,
god!
Miku,
Miku is
Shut
the
up
best
about Hatsune
girl,
fucking Miku.
headphone girl,
and Dan
not gonna,
has
dude,
committed sacrilege by choosing someone else. Behavior.
fucking lesbian-looking one.
No, 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 no.
Never
No,
watched the
Alright.
of course
quintessential
not.
quintuplet.
Yeah,
It's actually
they
really
don't
good.
Yeah,
I
you
would
need to watch
recommend
it.
it.
And you have to say that Miku is best girl, otherwise we will castrate you.
Like it seems like a really scummy show on the surface, but it's actually not.
Yeah, it's pretty decent.
It's a wholesome harem anime.
It
That's
is
like
wholesome.
not the traditional harem animes of just fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
there's
I would just
definitely
recommend the
fucking,
manga because it's fully finished, and you know, season 2 is kind of delayed, and yeah.
Yeah, the
Listen, I
the
wanna
manga
say
is
don't, but
fantastic, and I still believe, even to the end of the manga, Miku is best girl. But Dan
Okay, shut
disagrees
up.
for some
Okay,
reason.
okay,
'Cause he
okay.
is an
Shut up,
idiot.
Chronos. We don't want to give away anything here.
anyway,
Fuck
Yeah,
up.
let's
moving
just spoil this
on.
show. Moving on.
What
Um,
topic should we do next?
Oh, so what has everybody been playing? I know at the beginning of our month,
Oh,
we got
Animal
played Animal
Crossing.
Crossing for like the whole entire month
Yeah,
of
Animal
April.
Crossing.
I'm still on the Crossing grind. I mean, I could play that game for hours.
Yeah, it's great.
I
Yeah,
sort
it's a
of
good
gave
have-
up
game.
I've
It
Animal
was a
watched
good
Crossing
time
at
waster.
more than
I
30
have not
hours.
contributed a single thing
I've
to
been
this
okay.
podcast.
Yeah, maybe because you were gone.
I've been trying to find like good
Carl's out of the
paths.
loop as much as everyone listening is.
Yeah.
I've been trying to find like good custom paths online. But I can't find any fucking good ones. It's
You
pissing
could
me
have just told me I could have give you a server, idiot.
Is there? Okay, we'll give it
Yes.
after
Give
the
it to him
podcast
after the
finished.
podcast,
Yeah, I'll
Dan.
get it. Of course, not right now, idiot.
But yeah,
Yeah, I'm just gonna interrupt the podcast and be like, "Hey, Kronos, here's the
Hmm,
server. I need to tell you about
yes,
what's in it and stuff like that." Shut up. My God.
Honestly, Animal Crossing, phenomenal game. It's just that anytime I find something better, it's easy for something else to hook me more than Animal Crossing and lead me to not checking it.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean,
Yeah,
Animal
I just
Crossing
like
takes a
the
lot of
community
time and
factor to it.
patience.
the thing is, I've been playing a lot of games with like long loading times. So when the game's loading, I'll just like kick up Animal Crossing and then like do
Yeah.
the rounds. That sounds like I'm shagging everyone in the village, but no. Talking to
I
them.
mean, it. You have.
Gotta sweep the
yeah.
whole village.
Yeah, but no, I'm just So it's just like it's like a background game.
Yeah,
When
it is.
something's happening and you like have to wait for something, or you're watching a YouTube video and you're like, "Oh, I'm not paying full attention to this, so I'll just play Animal Crossing." It's just
Especially
it's
if you're like
chill.
listening to a podcast.
Like the
Yeah,
Milf
Like the Milf
podcast. Play,
podcast.
play
Like
Animal
the Milf
Crossing New
podcast,
Horizons
yeah.
for your Nintendo Switch while listening to the Milf podcast.
yeah.
Also, if I'm right, Big Chungus has also endorsed the MILF podcast.
No, we're not.
right?
Shut the
No,
fuck up.
we're
We're
not.
not talking
Big
about
Chungus
that.
funny?
No.
Stop. I will
Zapper has a
kick you
weird
off.
obsession with Big Chungus.
Big Chungus is not funny.
Big
Maybe because he
Chungus
looks
is
like
so
Big Chungus.
funny.
Something's actually physically mentally
Zap-
wrong with you.
Zapper started ironically making Big Chungus jokes, but
I think it's starting to
it's-
become
it is
unironic. I'm
becoming
being
unironic.
completely honest.
It is
I think
devolved.
it's starting to
into
become
pure
unironic. And I'm
just
scared.
bullshit.
Oh my
God,
God.
I hate it.
Fucking
Like
hell.
I'm now making Big Chungus lore.
Whenever someone is like
Hate you
un-
for that.
whenever
Unfunniest
someone's
stuff I
like
think I've ever
above
seen.
when someone's above average weight, Zap is just like Big Chungus.
Dude, it's
TJ?
so funny though.
you were
It's
saying
the
something?
funniest shit I've ever seen.
No, I said it's the unfunniest shit I've ever seen.
Oh,
You're an
no.
Exact
unfunny
opposite of what
Chungus,
Zapper
TJ.
said.
God. Well, fucking Big Chungus. Out of all things, he picked fucking Big Chungus.
What
Can
would-
you just
what would
stop
be
talking about
worse?
Big Chungus? I swear
What
to
would have been
God.
worse? Do you know the way? Uganda Knuckles or Big
okay,
Chungus?
Okay,
yeah,
we're
It,
moving
it
on.
I feel like
definitely
ending
would
the
have been
episode now.
Uganda. Yeah, and the
Just
episode,
because-
Uganda Knuckles was brought up. Episode's over.
Yeah.
Bye,
Episode's
everyone.
over, guys.
Goodbye.
Let's fucking wrap it up. All right. Well, I guess we could do one more topic because we're gonna keep these episodes short for now.
I mean, we didn't
Yeah,
even
yeah,
really
for
talk
now.
about games, though. We could talk about that for a little while longer.
The games,
talk about
yeah.
Oh
Alright,
yeah,
let's
let's
get
talk
back
some of
on
the games
games.
for now.
I've been
So
playing
as I
Hearts
mentioned
4.
earlier,
Oh,
fucking
no.
Xenoblade Chronicles
No.
for the
God
definitive
damn it.
edition for the Nintendo Switch coming out May 29th. Just the prospect of that coming out has gotten me to do my third playthrough of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Because I don't know if you've heard, but I'm a pretty big Xenoblade fan. And what were you gonna say about me, Chronos? Huh?
I just said, are you really?
Yeah, I am.
It
Anyway,
just gives
that's
me a
all I
little
wanted
bit
to
of
say.
hope.
Make sure you buy Xenoblade Chronicles.
Okay,
Definitive
we're not
Edition
being
for the Nintendo
sponsored by
Switch coming
Nintendo.
out May
Shut
29th.
up.
I know I am.
We're not-
This is a
Nintendo's
personal thing
gonna-
that I need to say.
I'm gonna strike this video if you talk about that.
Oh no, you
I
can't talk
need,
about Nintendo.
I need everyone to
shit.
play the game. I need everyone to play the game.
Oh, my balls
Buy
are
me
so
the game.
sweaty, man.
I don't
It's
have-
painful.
I already bought it for Dan.
Yeah, he bought it for me for my
I
birthday.
can't play it.
Can you buy it for me as well?
No.
I'll send you reggae pictures.
I think
Ooh.
one thing I think everyone should get is the Xbox Game Pass. You can
I
get
don't have an Xbox.
I don't have an Xbox
You don't need
either.
PC. You don't need an Xbox. If you have a
Really?
PC, you can get
Oh,
Xbox
my
Game
God.
Pass for PC. You get AAA games for like $5, over 100 like AAA games for $5 a month. I mean, they're not
Oh.
all AAA games, but a lot of them are. I mean, I have Red Dead 2. I have Nier Automata. Fucking.
Automata.
Automata.
I know. I'm still
Pretty good game.
messing that up. But
So TJ, how do you
I
feel
have
about
Final Fantasy 15 or whatever the new one is.
Ooh.
Not the not 7 remake, but the like new one that came out a few years ago or whatever. I like Nier. It's pretty good. I haven't played in the past few days because I've been playing a lot of Red Dead. But
I mean, I've been for like months now, just because I lost a lot of progress.
Is it me or is he cutting out?
Yeah, he's
I
cutting
mean,
out.
Just get a better internet signal. Come on.
get
We're
better
doing the
internet.
MILF podcast. It's like
Yeah,
we're
this
supposed
is
to have top quality
professional
premium
shit,
freaking
man.
Wi-Fi for this.
When getting paid by Nintendo, better Wi-Fi.
Oh my god. Nintendo can hear us
Yeah,
talking about their game, even if it's
Oh, no.
positive.
they're hacking you.
We
They
still
heard
haven't
me
got that
talking about the
NordVPN
game.
sponsorship, which sucks.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, that's
we need
right.
to
VPN
contact
sponsorship.
NordVPN and ask for a sponsorship.
I'm gonna no, let me not say that because if I I'm gonna get arrested. I was
On
saying, I'm
Hypixel
gonna
with my
pull up with
VPN on.
I was gonna pull up to the NordVPN headquarters of like not a real gun, not at all.
Airsoft.
Fake gun,
Pellet gun.
airsoft gun, and then demand NordVPN sponsorship.
You
I'm
were
not doing
in
this clearly,
GTA,
joke.
right,
I'm gonna
Dan?
go to
You're
jail
gonna
if
do it in
it's not a
GTA,
joke,
right?
whatever. What?
You're just gonna do it in GTA, not real
Yeah.
life.
No, yeah,
J-
I'm gonna do it in GTA
Yeah.
Simulator. All right.
hmm
It's a new game that's coming out by Naughty Dog. Let's say Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog is gonna be and Jeb Bush is gonna be in the game too.
Wait, they're putting Bush in it? When was this
Yeah, they're
revealed?
putting Jeb Bush in it.
Nice.
Jeb Bush, the DLC pack. You can only buy for $500. It's not a bad price.
Sounds pretty good, man.
How many views did we say before my mom comes on to the podcast?
She already
guys
came
remember?
on to the podcast.
No, like as a guest.
Oh, as a guest? Wasn't
Do
it
you
like
guys remember? Was it 1,000?
1,000 total, I think.
Should I get my dad as a guest on the podcast?
Oh my
When
Yeah.
Carl's
goodness,
mom as a
man.
guest, we need to hook them up.
No, my dad is married.
Yeah? This is the MILF podcast. We're trying to hook up everyone with MILFs.
No.
Married or not.
That's such a great quote right there.
Alright, I think
Uh,
we should start wrapping it up.
Yeah, like
Alright.
we said before, we're gonna have shorter episodes, so it's better editing for me, so I don't have to fucking listen
Yeah.
to an hour of shit. And yeah, hope
Alright,
everybody
Carl.
enjoyed this episode. Take it
Hey,
away, Carl.
listen. Carl, you can do it. You didn't have much of a role in this podcast. This is the only thing
I
you're good
didn't have
for.
much of a-
You're only good for this, Carl.
Yeah, this is
I don't even remember the outro either.
Quick, pull it up.
No, it's not like it's getting
Oh
good or
shit!
anything.
Let me pull it up really quick. Hold on.
No, don't actually. Just ad lib something.
yeah.
Ablib. All right. Thank you everyone for watching this episode of the MILF
Watching?
podcast. Yeah, listening. Whatever. Shut
Thank
the fuck up.
you.
Listening to this episode of the MILF podcast. I have been your host, KillerKid451, also known as Carl Jacobs, and I hope to see everyone again soon.
Did you
Cheers.
just
Probably
ask
soon.
yourself?
Goodbye.
I don't slack off this time.
Goodbye,
Anyways.
everyone.
Goodbye.
everyone.
Bye.
Chronos, you're telling me you need ice for your balls, right?
Yeah.
You've been sweaty this whole entire time during the MILF podcast recording?
Yeah.
Milfs make you sweaty.
Yeah, man. They're just slobbering all over it.